Quite an interesting week, a week where we had a lot of things happening. And of course, it's your favorite conversation, favorite show. It's Let's Be Real. And we have a lot of interesting conversations to unpack today. Of course, the usual hosts are in town. I'm your host, Charles Otieno, alongside
Dr. C. Today I look like a rich. I look rich, right?
Yeah.
With this wine red. By the way, this was my wedding theme color. It was gold and burgundy. Yeah, I don't have too many burgundy things, but I just wanted to look like a rich mama. Yes, yeah, Samantha Wines. And if you don't know who Dr. C is, you need to Google me. Google Dr. Catherine Masitsa.
All right.
And you can shoot all the questions on my social media channels. I answer them. I answer everybody.
That's amazing. And I'm Maria. I'm sure you've heard or seen me around. I nowadays do parenting content. It called me. I'm also an author, and I'm so happy to be here. Also, let me just help an author or two. If you have books and you like them to be distributed in a supermarket, you have not found me. Check my socials.
All right. My name is Manuel Nchoi, aka the Manuscribe, and I love being here, keeping it real. It's our business. So let's get rolling.
Let's get moving then.
Yeah.
So a huge debate is on Milimani law courts on Sexual Offences Act, and it's about sexuality of teenagers. So it looks like the act which was put in the constitution did not take care of the young people who would be having sex. You remember that the age of consent is 18 in Kenya. But in this country, there are younger men and women who engage in sex before 18. So most of them are taken to court, and the boy child ends up in jail because of Sexual Offences Act. So there's a constitutional moment. We call it a constitutional moment, where we're asking ourselves, and the lawyers from Katiba Institute are asking whether is it right to be jailing these kids who are having sex with one another. Consensual sex, I mean. There's no rape, there's anything. The 17-year-old girl and 17-year-old boy falls in love, and one of them decides, they're both minors. They're taken to court, and the boy is jailed. Because of what? Of having sex with a 17-year-old. Yet even the boy is 17-year-old, and the Sexual Offences Act has what we call a lacuna in law. What do you guys think?
I think so that there's positives and negatives. And obviously the people who are coming up, who are empowered and have gone to school to study these things, maybe can give us the answers. I think so that, well, there could be cases where I would be more inclined to look at sometimes the age difference. The age difference in the sense that there's a 12-year-old girl and there's a 17-year-old boy. Even though they are both young, surely if you're 17 years, you cannot purport to have the mind of a 10-year-old. Even though we know that children are getting sexually active in Kenya, even from age 10. Yeah, a lot of study after study has shown that. So if you have those kind of age differences, then there's a problem. I know of a case where the children from a school had a party at, I think, the boy's house or something, and later on the girl got pregnant. And she pointed to the boy. And yeah, it was litigated, and this boy is actually serving time in prison because the girl maintained she was raped. Yeah, and but later on, if you talk to the girl, it could have been consensual. So it is, yes, we are in that place constitutionally where we actually need to ask these questions and draft something that will be fair to the boy child, to the girl child too.
Okay, Maria?
This is the point where I usually say that sometimes things might be unfair or fair depending on who is looking at it. Because sometimes you'll find that this is a mom who wants the daughter to stop engaging in sexual relations with a certain person, and then it turns out that the best way to do that is to make it a big deal. There is also sometimes you find that this is a girl who's been heartbroken. Yes, we are both 17, but how dare you fall in love with someone else? So what happens? I did not consent to when it happens. So sometimes I look at it as though and there are others who actually engage and eventually say that we met in high school and now we're husband and wife. So I feel like, yes, the constitution should be looked at, but if it's, I also feel like a part of me usually feels like if we can reduce the consent age in this country to be 16, because parents are also not parenting keenly sometimes to know where their children are, what they're doing, or even give that sex education. So if you don't do that and then you come and blame a certain boy for something that your daughter consented to, or your daughter will come and give you allegations and then it will be like, okay. Reducing the consent age to 16 sometimes feels like it would be a safe bet to avoid putting most of our men in jail.
But even if you reduce, the truth is, study after study, at 10 years, they're already sexually active.
So let's parent.
So it doesn't, it doesn't reduce that. It 16, 14.
Let's parent. I would say let's parent our children. Let's tell our children the consequences, what you should avoid, and most importantly, let's also be in the shoe of another parent. Like, yes, you are my daughter. I've taught you this and this and this. Let me be in the shoe of that boy that I'm going to ruin the life of that boy. Knowing very well even at home you don't even listen to me. You do what you want, but now I'm willing to destroy another person's child's life because you consented. Or even sometimes you went and looked for the man. Let's not also ignore that.
For a long time, the boy child has suffered for something that was an agreement between two young people. Biologically, you know, they are correct and they should be able to have sex. In some countries, studies have shown that people started engaging in sexual activities from 10, as Dr. C has said. In other countries, the age of consent goes to 16, you know. But when such incidents happen, you'll always find that the boy child is the one who bears the brand of this whole issue. One, we ruin their lives. They get a dent on their legal status, that these are criminals. While this girl child goes back home, she continues with her life. She goes back to school or anything, while this young man sits in jail. This is not something that has been going well with me, done well with me. Because most of these cases, especially when it goes to courts, it's usually the parents of the girl child who force issues. And the girl will be forced to confess that she was raped. And that is what happens. This young man, unfortunately, will have to live the rest of his life having that dent on his life, that he's a criminal, having lost a lot of time, being jailed. And, you know, they have not addressed the key issue here. Why were these people, two young people, engaging in these acts? That is the main question we should be asking. Why were they doing this? Is it sex education? Is it because they wanted it? Or is it because somebody forced it? Remember that teenagers, they are still growing. Their frontal lobe is still developing, the part of the brain where it helps you make decisions, you know. The young man will be judged as if he is mature enough, while the young girl will be assumed to be innocent. So I think it's about time that we get these things sorted legally and save the boy child.
Before you say anything, let me say this. The reason why I would say that the gender aspect of it, I would actually not look so keenly into. I'm also looking at a situation whereby we are old enough, we've consented. Let's say we're in college, we are above 18, right? We consented, and then I got pregnant. Chances of me not finishing my studies, but the boy child living his life as if it's nothing, and then after that marrying whoever he wants, branding me a mom who did not finish school because I had to take care of that child. Also, there is an aspect of where the female gender gets to carry the burden.
But
So that's why I kind of like not put gender
But
on,
again,
in terms of
Maria, listen, this thing is very clear. We are talking about under 18.
Yes.
Over 18, you are an adult, you are not part of our discussion.
You can make
We
a
are
decision on
saying,
your
we are
own.
talking about Sexual Offences Act for children. So that other one, those are adults. If you go, you get pregnant over 18, those ones, they'll
And
deal
under
with it.
18?
Under 18 is where I have a problem, because we are saying
But they
we
do
have a
get pregnant.
constitutional moment. Yes, we have a constitutional moment, and we are talking about a lacuna in law that it does not address the shortcomings of our constitution, that our constitution needs to look at these children, that this, we made a mistake. Children are having sex before they turned 18, but we are treating the boy and taking them to jail as an adult who has raped someone. This is our problem. I want us to be very clear on this one, because we are talking about a serious matter that has been in constitution for some time. And you need to read the Sexual Offences Act. It's elaborate. It's elaborate. It needs to be looked into. That's why we are saying the lawyers at Katiba Institute, and why we are saying our constitution needs to be relooked into keenly, so that we say we acknowledge that there are boys who are 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 having sex with girls of that age. Now, the boy on that age bracket ends up in jail and ends up in 10, 20 years in jail, and we mess their lives completely. But their brain had not developed.
So what do you make of an 18-year-old who goes to convince a 12-year-old?
We are not talking 18, Dr. C. I'm very clear.
We're talking, okay, 17-year-old
Yes.
who goes to commit sexual offenses with a 10-year-old. How should that be dealt with?
Now, the constitution, that's why we want guidance. And that's why we are discussing it
but
as a
they're still
lacuna.
minors.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Kenya is one among very few countries in the world that actually criminalizes underage sex among the sexes.
Yes, but the way we deal with it, the way we jail our kids, is also very wrong, because we do not give them an opportunity to continue with their schooling in a better environment. There are some boys, there's a boy who, I think he was 16, impregnated a girl of 14, and that boy has been behind bars for over 10 years.
Oh my God.
So I look at that boy's mother. He wonders, oh my goodness, I have only one boy. He's been in jail for over 10 years.
Oh my God.
And the girl, it was not that the girl was raped. It was consensual. We are not talking about a boy, young boy raping a young girl. We're talking about the boys who fall in love with a girl, the mother takes them to court. So there are very many young boys who are rotting in jail.
So anyway, in the meantime, I think mothers, fathers, educate your boys about this law, because it's real, and people, you know somebody, I know someone, one too many, you know. So I think our young people need to be educated about
Yes.
this.
And also the constitution needs to relook at what kind of punishments should we be giving these kids. If it is consensual, one is 12, other is 13, 14, 15. We need to know, so that we do not criminalize them and put them behind the sentencing as an adult of 18-year-old who has raped a 12-year-old, or a man of 30-year-old has raped a 10-year-old. So we cannot lump them, and that's what Constitution does. It's lumping them together, and we want to separate them.
So how would you deal with an 18-year or 17 or even 16 years old who genuinely has actually raped someone?
I don't know. I'm talking about consensual sex here.
How do you prove it is consensual?
You see, that's the loophole, eh? That's the loophole. Because when they go to court, most of the time, when it comes to these cases, the girl child will say that she was raped. However much they had agreed on this whole issue, however much it's wrong, but most of the time, she will confess that she was raped.
It's the parents who force them to say,
Yes.
just say you were raped. Listen, the girl might have consensual sex, but the parents of the girl come and say, tukienda tunataka huo kijana ni mbaya sana huo Manu, lazima tumfungishe. Kwanza huo mama yake, hiyo mapua yake sipendi.
What has Moss got to do with anything?
I'm telling you. Huo mama hata mapua yake
Apendi.
sipendi.
Mapua yake.
Huo mama, tufunge hiyo kijana yake, amenifunia mtoto.
Ameniharibia mtoto.
And even this one is a kid.
Yeah. Anyway.
You know that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That. Anyway, moving on to
Yeah.
the next story.
Yeah.
It's about wills that are not willing. So a former freedom fighter, that is Fred Kubai, the family has been locked up in court because he wrote a will. He had 4 wives, and he left everything to his caretaker, the housekeeper. Some people call the maid or the house manager, who now the wives took him to court, and the court has ruled the will stays. And on the other hand, we also have Gachagua. Everybody knows Gachagua. Yeah. And his late brother also wrote a will that has been hailed by a lot of legal minds in Kenya. It is apparently one of the best wills ever written in this country, even though we've had cases where people are trying to accuse that, oh, it was altered, it wasn't him who wrote it. There's many things that are coming up, but when you listen to legal minds, they are all like, that is the best will to ever come out of this country. So I wanted us to discuss, what do you guys think? What is the best way forward? I mean, we're just having a conversation. We're not like in the Constitution. We are having our 5 cents input.
I usually say that if you're going to buy property, can we put both our names in them so that at least I can know that we own this together? Because a will is your secret. If you decide to leave it to anyone or give it to anyone, most of the times I feel like you'll go fighting and then you find that I've lost. But if we have both names in our properties, if you have 3 wives, can you buy that land with wife number 1, that one with name, like that, to make sure that at least if anything happens to you, I know what I'm getting. Okay, it's not like I want you to die for me to get. But I'm saying if anything, that sounds wrong for me to say. If anything happens to you because we all die, I know what I'm getting. But at the same time, I always feel like there's also some manipulation that happens. It can't be that you have children and wives and then all of a sudden your house manager gets everything. There has to be either some manipulation or maybe mentally when you're doing it, there had to be something that was wrong. Because I don't think there's any gymnastic someone can do in bed for someone to forget the children. I don't think so. I think if you started maybe 3 of your kids and not the rest, I would be like, okay, your favorites. But house manager, no. However, there's also one thing I would like to put across. Is it the duty of a man to die first? And why is it that I'm not seeing a lot of women written wills? Because I would like to see how they execute theirs.
The women?
The women, yes. Yeah.
You know, there's people in this world are funny, and they are entitled, and they are becoming more and more bold when it comes to being entitled on other people's property. If a man decides that this thing that I acquired in my lifetime, I want to give it to Dr. C. I want to give it to CEO. It should be within my right. Yeah, it should be within my right. I worked for it. I did whatever I had to do. I got it. It's mine. I should be able to dispose it the way I want.
And here I am
No,
cooking
you
for you
can't.
every night.
I
You
should
married
be
4
able
of us
to.
especially.
I should be able. It's my money.
And
It's
you,
my
and
property.
It's your money, like you, but you
It's my
married 4
property.
of us.
And here
Did
I am
I
even
marry?
Got children, people out of me who look like you.
yes.
I cared for you. I was your wife. You paid
The
dowry.
day you went dying, I dressed you. Imagine that.
No, that you're just being emotional.
No, that's
what I'm
family.
saying is you're just being emotional over nothing. This man looked for his money. He worked for it his entire lifetime. Now, don't I have the right to decide what I want to do with this thing?
Why were you marrying
This
if you were-
woman or these people acting surprised that they have been left out of the will also shows how misaligned they were with this man when he was alive. They were not together. The fact that this man will make a decision to not give you anything, to leave you with anything, tells a lot about you people, not about the man. It's about you people.
That means, Emmanuel, that means, back to what I've always been telling women, this polygamy thing, yeah, we're talking about wills, but this polygamy thing actually is about just disempowering women. It's about generational wealth. It's about the fact that because we are like 6 of us, or whatever number you are, you're not entitled to. This is just a very egocentric man. Like, you're not entitled, like you're going to disinherit all of us. You know, much as that is the will. So, okay, maybe something else may have happened. So this is my advice for women. Follow the money. If your name is not on it,
Yeah.
if your name is not on it, just leave.
Yeah.
Follow the money. Don't, like you said, we are being emotional.
Yes.
Don't follow the
And
drama.
materialistic. And materialistic.
Don't follow the drama. You see, these women were seated there waiting for a will to come out. No, by the time you're alive, I want to know, what do we own? If you're marrying another wife, what's mine, what's whatever. Anyway, God forbid that I would ever find myself. But in case you're there, in a situation where somebody has married another wife, find out. In fact, I always tell women like this. The moment you're in a relationship and you realize your man is actually marrying another wife or is doing other things, demand for a divorce, immediately get half. And then send your children to actually get the other half.
I mean,
Not even the other half.
you know, the law recently stated that you'll only live with whatever you came with in this marriage. So if you came with
So
nothing,
I came, you are nothing. You were, let's start with I came, you are nothing.
no, you can't come
Let's
to
start
somebody
with
who
that.
has nothing.
Let's start with that.
You can't
we
go to-
build wealth
women
from
don't go.
scratch.
Women don't go where there's nothing.
That- No, by the
Listen,
way, for
It's
we
been known.
build,
It's
we
being
build
reviewed.
from scratch.
Who's we?
Then once you are
Who's we?
once you are up there, you now decide I looked for money. Now
Who's
you are
we?
not in my will.
Who's we? Who looks for money in that homestead? It's a man. That's why they are looking at
Which
that
man?
man's will. Not even what these people own, what this man owned when he was alive. So if he worked for it, he should have the peace of mind to realize that I can leave this property with whoever I want to.
So you know what? Very recently, I saw a very, very clever young man, or celebrity, BN, yeah, Sauti Sol. I don't know whether it was on a social media site, whatever, but it's out there where he says, the day he relaxed and let his wife manage him, for him it was the most significant thing that really changed, that moved the needle. Because, number one, not only is his wife smarter, better negotiator, so now they are open, they are clean, their finances are very well, and in fact, he's making much more money. So I think it is really wrong for you to just assume in this modern day that it's only the man who is making the money. Sometimes you may be the one making the money, but really the engine behind. And a lot of successful people actually see, if there's a young man listening to me there, listen to what your wife is saying. Your wife will actually build you. And it is important for Africa, we have to build generational wealth.
You know, the first time-
Otherwise, we're going to stay in poverty, a poverty continent, because of you want to be polygamous.
Anyway, polygamy is good. And if I decide to leave the money to someone, I live in who I want. You will not decide that I married you, I have to leave it for you. That's nonsense.
You know,
No,
men
you
are
owe
I will
me.
tell
If you married me, you
listen,
owe me.
Listen. Now, the biggest case, and I want to read, the biggest case is between Esther and the son Gideon.
Esther Musila.
Yes. And then let me tell you the court case. I have it. So the father said, in the state that he passed on, if you remarry, you lose what?
She didn't know it.
I don't know that she knew it or what.
Okay.
But this is how men operate nowadays. Men have issues. So Kubai must have put a lacuna somewhere in that thing. That these women, I have lived with them, I know their character. If I pass on, partia with this other guy.
Maybe they neglected you
Yes.
the last day.
So men know, because men, these are old men. They're not men of this generation who are saying that, oh, we work together. These women were women who are brought in. There are 3 or 4. They didn't have a problem with the polygamy, number one. It's not a modern woman we are talking about. And these cases we are talking about, they're cases of the 70s, the 80s, the 60s. That time, this monogamy thing wasn't the in thing. And the Christianity hasn't taken over. Like now we are taking it, oh, it's monogamy, women are making money. Remember, women employment started just the other day. Dr. C, we know these facts. So we cannot
The way you're
judge them.
saying it.
Yeah.
Somebody should actually do a movie.
Yeah.
I can imagine this maid entering and saying, guys,
This is my
it's been
movie.
real. I'm the boss.
Yes, I'm the boss.
I can imagine.
Somebody should do a movie.
Get out of my house.
But
Get out of my house.
you know the lessons that men have been learning, eh? And the recent example is of Hakimi, you know,
Yeah.
the Moroccan player.
Yes.
This guy decided that, yes, I'm making a lot of money.
But I'll put it in my mother's
Put it
name.
in my mother's name.
That's
because
a
they
mama's boy. Like,
no.
smell
He
them
knew.
from far, leave
He
them.
knew. He knew what will come up. They'll always
Even Akon.
Even Akon. They'll always look at you from that point of
That's why
view.
a clever woman like me is not married to them. No way. Absolutely no way. I will divorce. Like, hey, 1 + 1 needs to make sense. I need to know how many dollars do we have and how many accounts and the properties. Otherwise, nitakuacha. We can get this thing even anywhere. There's
So now,
roses.
before we go for break, I will just tell you.
You are reading the quote.
Yes, I will read it later. But the truth is, it's stated very clearly, and I have it here, that the moment the lady decided to remarry, the property goes directly to the children. Immediately. So the ownership of the children, the property goes to the 3 children with Naibei, not the wife. So you eat your money, you are working, you have an employment. We kula pesa yako na bwana yako mpya, ingine achia watoto wangu.
But, you know, it is assumed. I think a lot of people are assuming that now we know you don't remarry in that way.
Yeah, you date long term.
Yes, you just date long term, depending on what is at stake. You know,
Yeah.
a piece of paper does not need to put you together.
Yeah.
Okay, a piece of paper.
You
And
do a
I
wedding.
sacrifice my.
No, I wouldn't do a
No,
wedding.
it doesn't need to put you together. But the whole point is that I think people are assuming she didn't contribute to the wealth.
Not a contribution. It's just you are part of, you own the estate together. But in case this guy passes on,
His part.
yes.
So it's about discussing what was his part.
Yeah, we could discuss his part goes to the children, I keep mine. But if you made it,
Everything goes to the
Why
children.
should you
I'm
keep
gonna
yours?
let you long
Why
term
should
so that you can enjoy
why
the
should
money.
I leave you with money to enjoy with another
with
man?
another man.
hey,
Why should I give you money to enjoy with another man?
so
you know-
you know, by then, let me tell you something. On today's show, you two have shown the ego that men have that do not care.
Let's
for
take a break. Then.
We're just being real.
That is just. I know you are being real.
Yes.
But your ego
And
is showing so much more than your name.
And
Let
that's
me
why
read for you.
that's why women should be money
The
minded.
letters,
Yes.
the grant of letters of in administration issued to Esther Janet Ngenyi on 14/2/18 is hereby revoked. The certificate of confirmation of grant dated 18/6/18 is hereby cancelled. A fresh grant is hereby issued to Gideon Malan Kimkung Naibei, Gilda Maua Mbeke, Naibei, and Glenn Iman Naibei.
Welcome back to the show. And as you've seen, like I said before we went, the ego is on top here. Now, again about men. Let's first say this, women, you should never receive the role of providing in any relationship. Yours is to sit, enjoy, and eat. So there's a woman who made a mistake. She went and took a loan on behalf of a man for them to start a business together. Mm-hmm. She went, put her name on a loan. Like I've said, ladies, do not accept the role of providing. If he doesn't have money for business, let him take his name there. Take a business. Only for the man to go out to the girl that he's been with, who is actually pregnant, with the money. Now the lady is left paying the loan. He's actually needed, like, he's going through that, paying the loan alone.
1.9 million.
Yes.
Well, those are, I think it's a life lesson. 1.9 million one can recover.
Yeah.
But I don't think she'll ever be stupid again like that. Honestly. Like,
why is that stupid, by the way?
that is stupidity. Like, you're not...
How can you take a loan on behalf of someone? Are you crazy?
You see, it's the same thing. I think on one of the shows we talked about toxic masculinity, where somebody pours acid on you. At least you're lucky you don't have acid. You can recover the loan, yeah? And you see, the thing is, if you're going to take a loan, you cannot use that or the love relationship and take it to the bank as the security.
The relationship is over.
Yeah, it cannot be the security. So, you know, caution need to be exercised. Only take a loan when you know you can actually pay. That is considered as a gift, and according to the laws of Kenya, a gift cannot be returned. Give me a gift, you give me a gift. So that's a gift. Did they have a contract amongst themselves to actually say he needs to return? So even if you're to lend somebody, I think hiyo iliwe funzo kwa huyo na hao wengine. That's what they say. If you're going to lend somebody money, let them commit in writing how they are going to pay. That way you can follow them. Yeah? Otherwise, you're taking a loan to give me a gift. Did I tell you to take a loan? No. Yeah? And also, commit to me how you're going to pay that. So that is just stupidity, and stupidity of the highest order.
You see the way women are hold on their accounts, like, we have learnt a lesson, this will be fine. Yeah. If it was a man, they'll start saying, oh, women. That's the problem with men.
And you know what? I really think she's very lucky. Yeah. It's only 1.9 you can recover. Now, end up fine. Yani, you work hard until never make that mistake again. Some people are taught this lesson, like in what we discussed earlier, that Fred Kubai thing. You discover he actually left everything to the maid. So you're lucky.
You're lucky, at least you know.
Yeah.
And also this is to show that women, you need to have your own income, money, and you need to learn how to work hard for yourself.
You know what, the game she played, it's called High Risk, High Reward. High Risk, High Rewards. That's the name of the game that she played. And I don't blame the man, because I don't blame the man at all.
Tumekuliwa mingi.
Let's be honest.
He's a bad man, a bad human being.
No, he's not.
You know, karma is real.
This guy, he had been with this lady, and he was also with the other lady, right? Sindio, see, they have been together. He was with the girlfriend, the one who took loan, and he also had the love of his life out there.
So now the
right?
love of his life is the one who can carry a pregnancy, not take a loan.
The one who didn't do due diligence, like, where are we going to invest this money? Where is this money going to? She just gave him blindly the money. Why would the guy refuse to take the money and perambulate with the love of his life? That's number one. Number two, the fact that he chose not to spend the money with her, but with the other person, also tells you that there is an issue. He also knew that this thing is not going far. He also knew that they were not going far, and he decided to play along. And, you know, ukichengwa tulia, that's what we say. Ukichengwa tulia. This lady alicheza mchezo yake, the guy played his game, both won. Apparently, it's only that she didn't like the manner of which she won, because she got the lessons, you know, at the end of the day. For the man, He's happy out there with the love of his life, enjoying the sweat of his labor.
So the payment is in the lesson.
Yes.
But you know, what I always say is that how do you take money, give someone, and you just give because you're in love, without a proper plan of how you're going to spend it?
But men do it all the time. But what's the whole point?
So
High risk, high
if you
reward.
then that's a gift. For me, it just becomes a gift because if you take 1.9 million, are you building? Are you buying land? Are you doing, what do you want to do? If a man tells you today, I want 9.9 million, the question you'll ask the guy, so to do what? What are we doing with this money? So if the guy has told you what you're going to do, you can get the money. But now, you will take the money, give him, then he goes to get the other woman, then you're very stupid. And there is no recourse for stupidity in this world. Unafunzika tu hivyo. It goes.
But you know, I want to say something. You know, there's all these people. It's not just even boyfriends alone. There's even relatives who come to ask you for money. All these people. There's just one way you should actually answer them. That you can actually introduce them to all these loan lending.
Yes.
If he cannot qualify to get a loan from people who formally do that for business and they've got money to lend.
Why you?
What makes you think he's actually going to pay you? So ask them to go to those institutions that, by the way, that thing really helps me.
Let's proceed to the next one time.
For our next story, you know, there's been this habit whereby you go rent a place. At the end of the day, when you decide to go to leave the premise or just move places, your landlord doesn't refund you your money back, you know, like the deposits and everything. So they're saying that kiendacho kwa mganga hakirudi, you know. And, you know, for people, they have now become real smart when such incidences happen. I don't know, Dr. C, where you stay, if you've had such issues, but the advice that some of us are given online is that if your landlord refuses to give you back your deposit, there are things that you can do, though not legal. I'm not advising you to do that, but you could consider including the use of cement. Those who know how cement is used to block the sewer line will tell you how you'll be able to recover that money. That's one of the ways you can do it. I don't know, you guys, what you think.
I cannot go diabolical on that. I wouldn't go diabolical on that because I want one day to also be a landlord. I wouldn't want anyone to do that for me. I think the most diabolical way I can go is, it's equivalent to 1 month's deposit. So the last month there I will not pay.
Okay.
That I think is the most evil way
And you
I can
will not
go
leave.
with. I will leave.
You can't do that to me. I'm a landlord.
If it depends with our contract, though.
No. You see, I would never enter into that kind of a contract. The contract
But
is
you'll
very
return the
clear.
deposit.
I will return. And many instances I've been in a situation where I have not actually returned. And there are very few landlords who actually return deposits. But I return. And there are times when I haven't. Yeah? One of the things we lack in this country is a deposit protection board or something where you pay your deposit. And I think we need to come up with something like that. And then if this tenant, you can actually go and prove, and your case is litigated and proved that you did this and this and this, then your money is actually given back to you. A lot of landlords sometimes are very crazy. They don't return. The money. They'll come up with something here and there, here and there.
Maintenance there.
Yeah, and you know, let me tell you something. There are some tenants, I've had some Sudanese, some Somalis. Somebody comes, they're renting one person. You find there's 100 people living in that house. It is completely broken down. Even that 1 month deposit they are giving you is not enough to renovate.
Well,
These
that
people,
makes sense.
they need even to be thrown behind bars. If you hear the stories landlords actually have in this town, it can be really crazy. Thing is, people, even Kenyans themselves, need to start looking at how they're actually looking after people's properties, like you're saying, if you intend to have. But I think moving forward, the only solution I can offer for both landlords and for tenants is to have what I mentioned, the rent deposit space that is legally protected, so that tenants are not taken advantage of, and neither do the landlords take advantage of.
Because coming up with costs is a problem, but if the costs are genuine, then as a human being, you just need to accept. You came to this house, it looked a certain way, and you've left it in a bad condition, so you have to pay for the damages.
But you see, I think sometimes the why most tenants find it difficult to move is because they always think that money is static. But naturally, if you move into a house, there are rules. When you're moving in, someone wants to paint. The best thing as a landlord, you tell them, okay, let's do the math with you. You give a deposit of 100,000. We want to paint this house. You want to fix broken places, sinks and all that. You cannot stay in a house for 1 year without breaking things, by the way. You can't. So if you minus that amount, you realize, there's a landlord friend of mine, what he did, I will return your money, but now I will send my fundi to go and do for you the damages. Mukiwa naye kwa nyumba in the same house. For me, you've given me 25,000, but I'm ready to give it to you when you finished with the fundi. Then the fundi went with the lady who was one of the tenants. The chick realized that the cost of repairing that house, by the way, the damage was around 50,000. Said, now I'm going to give you a 25. Now you give me, you pay the fundi 50, you repair the house. So you come and realize sometimes you'd rather forgo that deposit. Because the guy, when he's repairing his house, he'll spend even more sometimes. Because the next tenant will make some demands. You see, when you're demanding a house and you're coming in, you say, I don't like this ceiling. Can we change it? The guy changes it for you. I don't like the floor. This tiles is not my color. The guy does it for you, the tiles. Oh, the sink doesn't. So all that becomes a cost. When you move and they're broken, you have to repay. So I think the tenants and landlords must come to a place where they understand that building a house, first of all, is not cheap. And if you're still renting, there are some conditions which you undergo. It's very difficult. Most of these buildings we see people, landlords have are on loan, 90% of them.
Yeah.
They're 90% on loan. There's no one who built an apartment from his own money. So he's waiting for you to pay so that he can offset the loan. Yes. Anyway, we ended there. Manu?
Yes, I believe it's been real. But again, I'll still remind you people, we're in the business of performing miracles, Manuel, as we did in the wedding of
at Ghana.
Samantha wine, this is a fruity, sweet wine. It's white wine, very sweet. You should be able to enjoy it with your loved ones, especially the person closest to your heart. Because you know what it does, say that each day offers a reason to celebrate. Now you find it and experience the true bliss. Remember, it's the best.
And it's been real.
And it's been real.
Good night.